Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 17th meeting of the Hyde Park Planning Board. Please take note of all the exits around the room, and I join me as we salute Old Glory. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is Hyde Park Truck and Auto Group. The applicants are seeking site plan approval for a new business which would both involve rentals of trucks and autos and occasional sales of used automobiles as well. Located at 823 Violet Avenue. May I get a motion to reopen the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Lombardi. Haven't seen you in a while here. You've been letting your engineering consultant do all the heavy lifting, I see.
Yes, most definitely.
Welcome back, Mr. Tierums. Since our last review, the applicant has submitted a new set of plans that include landscaping that no longer have invasives, that have natives spaced nicely so that they're water conserving. One question I did have is, did you resubmit the sign, a new sign yet?
Yes.
It still appears to me to not be within code.
Tad told me that from the top of the sign, it could be 8 feet, 8 feet to the highest point and 7 feet to the top of the sign structure.
Right, and it looks to me as though 8 feet is showing still to the top of the sign.
Oh, it's just not to scale.
Oh,
But the
I
96
see.
inches means to go to the top of the sign.
Well, it is. When we made the copies, you see the shaded part here. Let me give you this. It's a little faded. See, this is the top of the frame. That's that point there. That's the
Okay.
96, where they kind of.
Oh, you mean there's,
The
what
top-
looks like this is actually like this to the,
No. It's only, the top of the frame is only 6 inches. That's why it's hard to squeeze it all in there. The top of the frame to the ground is 96 inches, which is 8 feet. It's a box steel that's 6 inches, and then there's brackets that project down. That's these little things that are on the sign for a couple extra inches, and then the top of the sign starts at 7 feet.
okay. The top of the sign, unless I read the code incorrectly, is supposed to be only 6 feet, and the top, there's a foot allowed for, in other words, it should be, unless does someone have a copy of the code? Unfortunately, I did not bring mine tonight. I thought it was the maximum height is 6 feet with a foot allowed extra for decorative elements, so it looks as though it's a foot off, although I do see Ms. Moss has some cryptic pencil notes here saying 7 feet to the top of the ward panel and 8 to the top of the structural element. I just want to check
She's the
to
one
make
who gave us the
certain.
dimensions.
I'm embarrassed to say we may have been telling people incorrectly all this time then, if that's the case. It'll be under dimensions, under 24. While Mr. Rodenhausen looks for the section of the code, we also had a couple of comments last time from the public. Basically, Mrs. Martino made some comments about the overall traffic patterns, but they weren't relevant just to this use. It was about a broader area there, and we encouraged her to go to talk to her representatives who maybe could then approach DOT. The rest of it involved lighting, and there's still some light trespass and spillage. Mr. Sotero in his last memo had addressed it, but I think we can make that a condition of approval to kind of figure that out so that it doesn't quite go so high to the property to the north. And anything else? Anything you'd like to mention, Mr. Tierums, or you, Mr. Lombardi?
No, we'll address some additional screening on the light that, it's the back one on the north side.
Yeah, there's a shield shown. It's just, there's a shield shown. Oh,
Need to make sure you speak in.
yeah, there's a shield shown, but it doesn't appear to be shielding it properly so that there's a pretty high light trespass. The spillage is, I think, 5.9 at one point on the northern property. It goes down pretty quickly as it gets to the house, but just right on the property line, it's showing pretty high.
Okay, we'll come up with another method of shielding that one light post, and we'll submit something back to you guys.
Thank you. You may have to submit it back to us. The way the condition is written is that you would work it out with the engineer. That's assuming we take action tonight. It would be a condition of approval.
Okay.
In other words, we'd like to conclude this tonight if that's possible. Ms. Axelson, do you have any additional comments?
of the comments that...
Microphone.
Microphone?
Microphone, please.
Directly down below, be upset otherwise.
Any of the remaining site plan comments that Pete had issued recently are included in the resolution of approval, anything that needed to be a condition of approval. And then he did have a question about the mounting height of the handicapped parking sign. He said it was at 5 feet, and he didn't know if that was what you intended it to be, or was it supposed to be higher?
I thought the standard mountain height was 5 feet.
He wasn't sure. But we, you know, I kind of feel like we should be able to work that out. And that was why I
I think,
was,
yeah, we will put the sign up at whatever height we need to, but
Is that
it was
M-
my understanding that was standard.
I have
was
no idea
5 foot
because that's
height,
building code.
The bottom
Right.
of sign.
It's not a planning board issue, it's a building code.
Yeah.
They're the ones who specify how high, how close it has to be and how
That's an
high.
ADA
Right.
requirement.
it sounds right to me, but we just weren't sure. And it was a question that we had in the memo, and, you know, so that was the only remaining issue, other than what's already in the resolution of
I know at
approval.
the DOT, that's where we would hang that sign at 5 foot to the
Well,
bottom.
there you are.
Okay, well, there you go. It's MUTCD, or whatever it is.
You got it.
That's it. Okay, fine. That
Thank you.
answers that.
Mr. Rodenhausen, any comments, or did you find the section of code that's relevant?
According to 24.2CB, the sign cannot be higher than 7 feet. The
This-
sign face cannot be higher than 7 feet from the ground.
That's
So
what we
she's
have.
correct, and so then there's a decorative element above that?
Can be up to 8 feet.
Whoops. I think we've been overly restrictive on some signs lately. I'll have to go back and rememorize that section of code. So we will need,
And 10 feet is the maximum height?
no,
8
8,
feet,
8 feet plus 1 foot, right?
7
7
plus
plus
1.
1.
7 plus 1.
And it looks as though what Tad has written is that you don't have any lighting shown for the sign yet?
No lighting whatsoever, nope.
You don't really need it because it's underneath a big light.
There's a light there's also a light at the pole on the street.
Right, that's what I mean, the street light there will illuminate it, okay. Then we'll need to change the resolution slightly to get rid of
I would delete the whereas
the
clause.
fourth whereas.
Right.
So that signage will be approved as part of this application.
Simply not mentioned, it's just going to be included.
Anything else, Mr. Rodenhausen?
Nope.
Let me start to my right. Mr. Oliver, any additional comments?
No additional comments.
Ms. Dexter?
No?
Ms. Kane?
No?
And just for the record, Mr. Groninger is recused and Ms. Kane is the alternate continuing on this application. Mr. Murphy, any comments?
Yeah. Mr. Lombardi, you understand that you're not supposed to start the business before you meet the conditions of the site plan, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, and you will follow the site plan, correct?
That's why we're here.
Yeah, no, I mean, you've been here before, and you have other parcels that don't have CO, correct? That you're
No, that
operating
is-
a business on.
That is incorrect.
Okay, you have a CO for your other entire parcel.
Well, if there's issues, we're welcome the town to proceed action against us as they see fit. That's all I can tell you.
Right, right. That's the status of it.
In other words, Mr. Murphy was hoping that you'll follow the plans exactly as proposed, including, perhaps excluding the height of the handicap sign. We'll see if that's exactly the same for DOT, whatever. Just a point of, I guess, for the record, the code is written so that if you proposed it at 5 feet and the building code says it needs to be at 4.5, Ms. Moss has the ability to say that's de minimis. Particularly for something like that, I think that would be de minimis. So is there any member of the public who'd like to speak about this application? There being none and no further comment, may I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved? Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And Mr. Oliver, you have this resolution?
Yes, I do. I also have the EAF.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll need to read part 2 first. Thank you.
Okay. So there will be no impacts on the land. There will be impact on geological features, no. Impacts on surface water, no. Impact on groundwater, no. Impact on flooding, no. Impacts on air, no. Impacts on plants and animals, no. Impact on agricultural resources, no. Impact on aesthetic resources, no. Impact on historic and archaeological resources, no. Impact on open space and recreation, no. Impact on critical environment areas, no. Impact on transportation, no. Impact on energy, no. Impact on noise, odor, and light, no. Impact on human health, no. And consistency with community plans, no. And consistency with community character, no. Okay. Go on to the resolution.
Yes.
Have you signed it?
Resolution to adopt a determination of non-significance and grant site plan approval for Hyde Park Truck and Auto Group, resolution number 15-6, whereas, now therefore be it resolved that the planning board hereby determines that the project as proposed will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts and that the draft environmental impact statement will not be prepared. Be it further resolved that the planning board hereby grants site plan approval to permit the establishment of used car sales facility and car truck rental facility at the site as shown on the plans entitled Hyde Park Truck and Auto Group Site Plan for Used Car Lot and Truck and Car Rentals, prepared by Paul Terms, P. dated April 15th, 2015, last revised May 20th, 2015, lighting plan entitled T155G-Lombardi Property, dated April 6, 2015, last revised May 8, 2015, and authorizes the chair to sign the site plan after the compliance with the following conditions. 1. In addition to the site plan of map note stating in the event of a 20-foot wide opening for access into the adjacent lot shown as on the site plan is closed by the adjacent landowner, the landowner of this parcel shall apply to the planning board for a site plan amendment to provide landscaping in the closed area. 2, evidence of approval of the sanitary facilities by DCDOH and the curb cut by New York State DOT. 3, revision of the lighting plan with the approval of the town engineer to prevent light spillage over the property lines. 4, revision of the site plan detail on sheet 2 to eliminate yellow paint on 6-inch reveal on the concrete lighting foundation. Be it further resolved that in the event the 20-foot wide opening for the access into the adjacent lot shown on the site plan is closed by the adjacent landowner and the owner of this parcel shall apply to the planning board for a site plan amendment to provide landscaping in the closed area. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? Motion carries unanimously amongst the 5. Would you like a copy of the resolution?
Yes.
And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. The conditions should be fairly easily met, so I can sign. I think that's all we have to do. If there's a question about the condition with the 6 inches of yellow, that was something that came out of Pete's office. It's shown that there's going to be just little 6 inches of yellow on the bottom of the light for the reveal. That's what's shown on the plans right now, so we said just delete that from the plans. That's all. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing that. Is this a prefab building you're just going to put down there? I figured. It's an attractive building, though. So we should be ready to go shortly.
Hope so.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure doing business with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kane, for for coming in. See you shortly, or see you soon, I hope.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is St. James Antiochian Church. The applicants are seeking site plan amendment to raise 2 lower towers or belfries to be roughly the same height as the 3rd rear tower. The applicants have explained that it's for religious purposes. Making a motion to reopen the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
For the record, Mr. Roninger is back up on the dais. Ms. Kane is relieved of alternate duty. Essentially what happened is that we referred this because Mr. Roninger probably noted that there was no electricity in the old towers or belfries, and the applicants are proposing to add electricity, so we sent it over to Fairview Fire Department just to make sure that they were aware and asked for comment. We've not received it, and we normally grant interested agencies 30 days. We mailed it May 21st, so they have until June 21st to reply, and they haven't had a chance to do so yet, so we're going to hold the public hearing open. In the interim, is there any comments from consultants?
None here.
Comments from the board?
No.
No?
Any comments from the public about this application? There being none, may I get a motion to continue the public hearing to July 1st?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And the third item on the agenda under new business, we have a request for a site plan waiver to replace an existing porch and deteriorating wooden steps. The location is 2 Calmer Place. This is in the statewide area of scenic significance. I drove by the site today. It is not visible from either the Vanderbilt Estate nor the FDR Presidential Library historic site, nor from the river. It's actually only visible if you go down Calmer or Calmer, and a little bit from Route 9. So we have a recommendation for a waiver from the zoning administrator, and this will actually be an improvement because it is a deteriorating porch. Who has this folder?
I do. Town of Hyde Park Planning Board, James and Patrice Morris, site plan waiver, June 17, 2015, resolution number 15-24. Whereas an application requesting a waiver of site plan has been made to the Town of Hyde Park Planning Board by James Morris on June 8, 2015, for property located at 2 Calmer Place in the Town of Hyde Park, and whereas, now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Hyde Park Planning Board hereby waives site plan requirements for the file entitled Morris regarding the specific request as received June 8, 2015, and in the building permit application file for this project. Do I have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. The last item on the agenda is for Crofton Mews, now styled as Carriage Trails at Hyde Park. At least they lost the county center. The applicants have requested,
The Townie Center, yes.
County Centra, as I recall. The applicants have requested a site plan extension. We can grant that to them, and they made this in timely fashion. What happened is that because it's been our practice to update wetlands, we required that before we granted one more site plan extension, that they redelineate the wetlands and that they be recertified by the DEC. Again, the area of disturbance that's proposed is out of the area of the wetlands, but because wetlands migrate over time, and this project goes back to 1996, which is 21 years, that's enough time for wetland boundaries to have migrated substantially if they were going to. So the applicants have just submitted, it should be in your mailboxes, maps. So what we need to do is set a public hearing for July 1st for the site plan extension. Make it a motion to do so.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any new business or roll from the board? There being none, I get a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Media Committee. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, consultants, for coming all the way out for a whopping 20-minute meeting.
It's their favorite. Here you go.
You guys should have your own reality.
Not the short.
And thank you, Media Committee.